everybody. So I will be speaking on refractive outcomes of simultaneous phacoemulsification with pterygium surgery with fibrin glue. So the aim of this study was to assess the refractive outcomes after simultaneous pterygium excision and phacoemulsification with foldable intraocular lens implantation with fibrin glue. So as Dr. Anchal has already given the background, pterygium is a wing-shaped fibrovascular overgrowth arising from the subconjunctival tissue extending across the limbus onto the cornea. As it progresses across the limbus towards the pupillary area, it basically causes astigmatism, which is usually with the root, and it results in decreased vision. It is most common ocular surface disease in the elderly and is usually accompanied with senile cataract. The definite treatment we all know of pterygium is its excision with conjunctival limbal autograft, which is associated with lower recurrence. Now, conjunctival autograft addition with fibrin glue is now the technique of choice in many centers worldwide. The use of fibrin glue reduces the operative time. It results in less post-operative pain and early post-operative rehabilitation of patient as compared to the use of sutures. Pterygium excision can be performed prior to or combined with cataract surgery. During sequential surgery, it is important to wait for stabilization of cornea, which could take any time between 4 to 12 months. Many patients now prefer single-step combined procedure of pterygium excision with cataract surgery, as it provides faster visual recovery, reduced visits to the hospital, and overall cost for the treatment. So, 11 patients who came to us in OPD at Tata Main Hospital, they underwent simultaneous phacoemulsification with foldable intraocular lens with pterygium excision with autograft with fibrin glue under local anesthesia. We gave peribulbar anesthesia to all the patients. The pre and the post-operative evaluation included the subjective refraction, best corrected visual acuity, keratometry we did with the Topcon autorefractometer, A scan with the Oculus machine from Alcon. We did the IOL power calculation and slit lamp examination, dilated fundus for all the patients. We excluded the patients who had astigmatism more than 3.5 diopters, very big fleshy pterygiums where we could not get good Myers for the K reading, recurrent or double-headed pterygiums, any cases of traumatic or complicated cataracts, or any concomitant eye disease. Informed consent was given to obtained from all the patients for the surgery after explanation of the nature and possible consequence of the study. So the surgery included, all the patients underwent standard phacoemulsification with foldable monofocal aspheric IOL, which was followed by pterygium excision with the conjunctival limbal autograft with fibrin glue. We used Baxter Tissel kit under peribulbar anesthesia for all the cases. So as you see, I have already finished the phaco and
nothing is happening. Can you come?
So we have. Yes. Can you please mute your mics, please? Right. Thank you. So we first did standard phacoemulsification through the superior-temporal 2.8 millimeters clear corneal incision, and then we removed the pterygium and we pasted the graft with fibrin glue. You can see all the steps. So all the surgeries were uneventful. Post-operatively, the patients were started on topical steroids, moxifloxacin and lubricants 4 times a day. We asked the patients to patch between topicals until their cornea healed. Then we followed the patients on first day, 5th day, 3 weeks, and last follow-up we have is up to 6 months. We analyzed the results retrospectively. So these are our results. The mean age of our patients was 61.9 plus minus 7 years. We had 50 to 70 years. This was the range. We had more number of males than the females. 8 were males and 3 were females. So at 6 months, we saw that the mean best corrected visual acuity significantly improved from 0.67 logMAR to 0.02 plus minus 0.06 logMAR post-operatively, and this was statistically significant. Our mean post-operative astigmatism significantly reduced from minus 1.85 to around minus 0.61 diopters, and this was also statistically significant. Our mean keratometry readings marginally increased only from 44.03 to 44.36 post-operatively. This was not very much significant. At 6 months, what we saw was that 85%, 0.71% of the eyes were within 0.5 diopters and 14.28% eyes were within 1.1 diopter of the targeted correction. So our target was 0. Mean post-operative myopic spherical error was minus 0.23 plus minus 0.27 diopters. These are the photographs taken from one of the patients. You can see the pre-operative, the first post-operative day, and 6 months post-operative. So to conclude, simultaneous pterygium and cataract surgery was safe and effective, and accuracy was moderately predictable. Small amount of myopic shift did occur post-operatively, possibly resulting from steepening of the cornea after pterygium removal, especially when the size of pterygium was large. Performing these two procedures simultaneously can save time and energy and is cost effective for the patient, particularly in our Indian subcontinent where the incidences of pterygium and senile cataract are higher than elsewhere. Thank you.